Hi folks, Van Prepper here. Today I wanted to share some more good gun news. It's not all on the SAFE Act. Most of it actually is national news, but the first story I wanted to share with you was Senator John Cornyn of Texas released an official statement on his website that says that Senator Cornyn has proposed a reciprocity bill that would allow for concealed carriers to go from one state to another, and as long as you have a legally recognized concealed carry permit from one state, you can go to any state you want with it. This sounds like a great thing. The problem is, do not be fooled by this. John Cornyn is an absolute rhino, a Republican in name only. He's right in there with the group of Mitch McConnell and John McCain and Lindsey Graham and a bunch of other senators who, this is simply political cover in an election year. This has zero chance of passing. He knows it has zero chance of passing, but what he is attempting to do is to make gun rights people go, oh wow, he's really solid on gun rights. This guy has sold us down the river on immigration. He has sold us down the river on everything else. He is Mitch McConnell's lapdog, and Mitch McConnell is Harry Reid's lapdog. We need to get people like Senator Cornyn and Senator Lindsey Graham from South Carolina and Senator Mitch McConnell from Kentucky out of office, not vote them back in because they did something that was purely for show. Okay, it would be great if we had reciprocity, but that's not going to happen. There's zero chance that vote's going to pass, and this has nothing to do with us achieving reciprocity and everything to do with Senator Cornyn trying to, and the co-sponsors, Lindsey Graham and these other guys, trying to look like they are solidly conservative and for the Constitution, which they are not. Their actions tell that story much better than this pretend piece of legislation does. The second thing I have is New York counties all over. Onondaga County, which is right next to me, hopefully my own county, Cayuga County, lots of different counties are beginning to sue New York State or threaten to sue them over the use of county seals on SAFE Act paperwork, because most counties in the state, if you do not know, almost every single county in the state has voted to call for the repeal of the SAFE Act, and they do not want their county seals used on SAFE Act paperwork because it would appear that they were endorsing it, and most counties are against it because most counties in New York are rural counties. I think of all the counties in New York, I think there's 2 or 3 that are that have not issued statements to repeal the Second Amendment or repeal the SAFE Act, excuse me, something like that. I got that from CNYCentral.com, by the way, in case anybody's looking to look that story up. This next article was a great one. It's great news. It is that the Supreme Court has been asked to look at New Jersey's unconstitutional carry-conceal laws and carry-conceal restrictions. The case is actually Drake versus Jaragian or something like that. But the attorney, Alan Gura, who won the huge groundbreaking cases of Heller versus the District of Columbia and McDonald versus Chicago or McDonald versus the state of Illinois, whatever it was, he is the attorney that is bringing this or attempting to bring this before the Supreme Court. And this would address once and for all the states that are, in occupied territory like my state of New York, and the states like New Jersey and Illinois and California that make it nearly impossible to get carry-conceal permits. This would address, if the Supreme Court would take it, would establish a standard that the right to self-defense outside of the home, if we win this case, is a constitutionally guaranteed right and could not be messed with by states who are attempting to make it impossible or more difficult to get carry-conceal permits. The final piece of news that I have is that the National Shooting Sports Foundation, the NSSF, and SAAMI, which is the Sporting Arms and Ammunition Manufacturers Institute, is suing to overturn the California. I'm sorry that took so long. They have banded together and launched a lawsuit against the state of California and their micro-stamping law to get that overturned. For those of you who don't know, the micro-stamping law it's an attempt at backdoor gun control, an attempt to limit people's ability to get ammunition because it makes it so much more expensive, because you have to get all your ammunition micro-stamped. And that's like a little tiny, just what it says, micro-stamp on each one of your bullets, so that if it's ever used in a crime, they could supposedly use the casing to figure out, you know, who it was much easier. This is such a stupid law. I mean, it's just asinine, and it totally infringes so heavily on your right to keep and bear arms, because it attempts to make the purpose of this law has nothing to do with catching criminals, and everything to do with making it more expensive to own guns and to own ammunition for those guns. California has, you know, one thing about New York's laws suck, but California's suck even worse, I'll tell you. So if you want to see, by the way, watch the Daily Shooters video on 10 reasons why California is the best place for gun owners, something like that. His video is hilarious. But check out these stories yourself. They're pretty available online. I'm sure you can punch in the limited information I gave you on each one and find the expanded stories. But these are mostly really good stories, really good news for those of us who are for the Constitution and for the Second Amendment and for the Bill of Rights, and who are gun owners. And just please, by all means, research the actual voting records of your senators. Don't take these nonsensical things like John Cornyn is doing and go, well, he's really for, you know, he really cares about me and my gun rights. No, he does not at all. Okay, there are people all over that what they do is they release these stupid things as a distraction to make you think that they're in your corner, when in reality they've been doing nothing but stab you in the back and try to take away and usurp your constitutional rights all over the place. I am sure that John Cornyn is a supporter of the NSA spying, just like Lindsey Graham is. Lindsey Graham made the idiotic statement that I don't have anything to hide, so I don't care if people look. Well, you know what, Lindsey Graham, check your own rights at the door, but why don't you leave mine alone? Please, if you live in Kentucky or Texas or South Carolina or any state that has one of these clowns that are getting primaried this year, vote for their primary opponents. Let's get these guys out and get somebody in who will actually make a difference, who actually cares about your constitutional rights and your freedoms. I'm Van Prepper, this is Gun News, and this is Freedom News. Happy shooting.